Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Paid my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a while, every once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, it's all we'll ever be. I got a million 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of bootleg out-of-state booze. Hocked my wife's diamond ring last June. Bought me an outboard Ebbing roof. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm about the things we do, or the trouble that we get into.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Tuesday morning. Glad you're all here. Checking in with us on this Tuesday from the Wade and Carter Studios in beautiful downtown Victoria, Texas. Thanks for checking in, whether you're on Magic, Facebook, YouTube's, the Roku Magic app, online at Magic's website. We appreciate everybody who's checking in this morning, and especially those of you in growing numbers on the West Coast. We kind of find that a little bit, hard to believe that folks on the West Coast want to hear common sense. And I guess when you've lived under Gavin Newsom's rule for so long and the idiocy that is Washington and Oregon, you long for this sort of stuff because you don't have it out there. And we appreciate you getting up early because you're watching live. That's awesome.
Got a quick quote for you before we do the weather.
All right.
I'll see if you can guess who said this. Let's play a game. As we speak,
I like games.
Trump is pressuring the state of Texas to rig its congressional maps to put more Republicans in office. This is a significant uptick in Trump's attack on democracy. If you can't win an election, then you rig it. If he can do it in Texas, he can do it anywhere.
Wait a second. That sounds like New York.
That's Bernie Sanders saying that. Of all people.
Yeah.
If you can't win an election, you rig it. Taking a page from their own playbook, Bernie Sanders.
Well, what they do is look at the history over time. They've accused the right
Isn't
of doing
all
what
history over
done.
time?
Well, yes.
Let's be honest.
It is.
You know, I hate that phrase. Let's be honest. We're always honest.
Greg Garcia, Marvin Mickish, Bobby Leister on the podium this morning. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services.
74 degrees under mostly sunny skies, heading to a high of 92. It's that heat wave, you Californians. It's life ending as we know it. It's anarchy, it's racism, it's fascism, communism, socialism.
All the isms.
And Nazism all rolled into one in the form of heat and climate change.
Yep. CNN with a great headline yesterday. Well, it's been a slow start to the hurricane season, but things could be getting heated up in the Atlantic hurricane basin. See, they use words like could and would to scare you into thinking that. And let's be honest. I mean, we don't want to be complacent because it has been a pretty quiet first 2 months. But once again, this was supposed to be an above active hurricane season, according to the forecasters, and here we are.
Remember that clown that was under Obama? Was his name Robert? Is it Reich? Right?
Yep.
Texas Democrats aren't running away from anything. They're fighting with every tool they have to save our democracy. Kudos to each and every one of them for taking this stand. We should be inspired by their courage and reminded that tyranny is only possible if we submit to it.
Yeah.
You just gotta like the way it makes you feel.
Listen to this statement from the Texas House Democrats yesterday. By the way, this was on every news story.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only reason we're talking about this is New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Epic Times.
The BBC interviewed somebody.
BBC had a lady from Washington, D.C. that was talking about what's going on in Texas. It's the only person they had at the,
She was from the Washington Examiner, which surprised me because that is not exactly the Washington Post.
Right.
But here's what the Texas House Democrats posted on X yesterday. For 2 weeks, while families in the Hill Country mourn the loss over 130. Listen to how they conflate this and bring this has nothing to do. One can coexist with the other. They're not mutually exclusive here. Life goes on, and I'm not minimizing what happened in the Hill Country, but the Democrats are trying to make this seem like Republicans in the Texas House don't care about what happened in the Hill Country. This has nothing to do with the other. Because they completely forget the fact that our legislature actually had hearings on this to see what could be done better, what went wrong. But for 2 weeks, while families in the Hill Country mourn the loss of over 130 Texans in catastrophic floods, Democrats fought to make their relief the legislators' top priority. Instead, Governor Abbott and Republican leadership used the tragedy as political cover. After thousands of Texans testified against this corrupt bargain in hearings across the state, their pleas were ignored. Governor Abbott has turned the victims of a tragedy into political hostages in his submission to Donald Trump. We will not allow disaster relief to be held hostage to a Trump gerrymander.
Meanwhile, at the national level, Senator Elizabeth Warren, remember Elizabeth Warren ran for president as a compassionate Democrat.
As a compassionate Native American Democrat.
She endorses Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor. A reporter says, Democratic socialism. Is this what the party should look like? And Elizabeth Warren said, yes, you bet. The Democrats are no longer hiding, folks. They're coming out and remember, they're the ones that always say when someone tells you who they are, you ought to listen. Are you ready, Pete McNally? Are you ready to call yourself a Democrat socialist? I mean, we've known for several terms that the Democrats operate as socialists. But when you call yourself a Democrat socialist, the only thing left is to admit you're a communist. It's the only thing left.
Because socialism is the pathway to communism.
Absolutely. It's a gateway drug to stupidity.
Look at that. Lilo sent this to us this morning. We got listeners all of the West Coast.
I'm so flattered.
New Mexico, Colorado, throughout Texas, Oklahoma. No, what's above Oklahoma? That's Kansas.
Is that somebody in Illinois or
or Wisconsin? One of the two. Right on the border, maybe. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lilo.
I'll tell you what, Lilo, thanks for sharing. That's Lilo Arguelles. He's the guy, general manager over at Magic 95.9, still the Wade and Carter
GM guru
epicenter, the epicenter of Wade and Carterism.
But now they're trying to Gavin Newsom should gerrymander California. The problem is they did.
20.
The census gerrymandered the entire country and kept Republicans from probably having at least 5 and as many as 8 more seats in the House in the midterms in 2022 because of their our bad, miscounted.
What are they saying? We want a new census. Trump's the guy to call for it. That counts Americans.
And remember, he tried this first term, and the Supreme Court at the time said, well, you can't ask that question.
I mean, why can't you ask? So here's the deal. Follow the money.
Where does it become illegal to ask somebody if they're an actual citizen?
You don't want to give, for example, California announces that they're a sanctuary state, and all the illegals go to California because they won't be prosecuted, and except for those pesky federal ICE agents. But besides that, if you're an illegal, you're welcome and coveted in California. Why? Because we get to count you in our census, which gives us, at this time, 5 extra congressional seats and more electoral votes. So if you only count Americans, California loses a little bit of its stroke. So they're against that. Boo, that's bad. We don't want that. So all we're saying is,
because Americans don't like what's going on in California with high prices for property, high taxes, infringements on your freedoms, the inability to run and own a gas lawnmower.
Stupid.
Everything that you can't do in California. So Americans have been leaving the state in droves, so much so, and I don't know if the state ever enacted this, but they actually wanted to tax Californians who left the state to replace the lost tax revenue from them leaving that state.
All you want is an honest census of American citizens, and then you want no voter districts defined by race. It's demeaning to the people who, nobody gets this. The left says, well, let's get a district. Let's get a district and let's just carve it up in such a way that we get enough minorities, not Americans, minorities in it, so that their voice can be heard. Because the assumption is if you're a minority, you vote Democrat. And the only way to get minority representation, hence a Democrat in office, is to herd enough of those minorities into one little area so that they elected Jasmine Crockett. Isn't that sweet? Because nobody with any common sense would elect Jasmine Crockett. So you have to get enough people together that she can say, come on, man, I'm a sister. Vote for me.
Well, you had enough rich white idiots in New York vote for AOC.
Yeah, that's crazy. She must have been one heck of a bartender. Seriously, she must have been.
No short pours with AOC.
No,
that's how she won that election.
That's just.
No, but but then they fail to notice that there's plenty. Anyway, your elected representatives represent your district as Americans.
Well, the latest is we may get a call here, maybe from State House Rep District 30, AJ Louderback, but I went by the Capitol yesterday and visited with Representative Louderback and the governor. I do have at the house. In fact, what I'll do is go home and scan it and put it up on the webpage. But I do have a copy of the letter that Governor Abbott sent out, and he literally says, $500 fines, that you can't raise funds to pay those. Those are fines from me to you, from the state to you. If you pay those with personal funds, that's going to be called, without personal funds, it'll be called bribery, and we'll put you in jail for that. It's a felony. And if you're not here, we're going to consider your seat vacated. There's legislation that allows precedent that allows the governor to determine your seat has been vacated. And you can guarantee, if you're a Democrat and they determine that your seat has been vacated, Governor Abbott gets to appoint someone to the remainder of your term. That person will not be a Democrat. You can bet on that. So now you get to run again for your seat in the next election, but you won't be the incumbent. And we all know how important being the incumbent is.
And weren't they also looking to figure out a way that if they use donated funds to pay for the fines, it would be some sort of bribery or illegal campaign? There would be something right there as well, right?
They're saying it's a felony. It's calling it bribery.
So, So he's vowed to arrest him. We'll see if that actually happens. Can
Yeah.
you then arrest J.B. Pritzker for aiding and abetting
It's just such
known felons?
hypocrisy that it's like we talked about. Here's what the Democrats do. They declare that there's a fight. There's a battle afoot. It's a battle for the very democracy of Texas. So what are we going to do? We're going to all get on a private jet and leave because we're in the midst of this battle.
Screw our carbon footprint that we've been so concerned about for the past 20 years.
We're on a private jet and we are out of here. So we're going to leave. We're going to go to another state that is blue in large part because of
Corruption.
gerrymandering. We're going to stay at their fat ass Governor Pritzker's hotel. Basically, we're going to go away and stay on other people's money, which is how the Democrats operate, on other people's money.
Socialism.
Until we run out of other people's money. Then we're going to reach back into our district and ask our constituents to send us money so that we can fight this fight from afar in our Hyatt Hotel robe and then turn around and solve the problem with their money that we created.
You bring up a good point because they talked about doing this a week or so ago, remember?
Yeah.
And they couldn't leave, and they didn't leave. They still had enough Democrats in the House to have a quorum last week. Well, and this is exactly why. I didn't even think about it till you just brought it up. Because nobody was paying for them to flee the state.
That's right.
Now that somebody's footing the bill, they all wanted to go.
Greg Abbott says Texans don't run from a fight. Greg Abbott say Texans don't run from a fight. They have to put every word together for him. These Texas Democrats have fled the state are not serving Texans. They're serving themselves. They forfeited their seats and are facing potential felony charges. J.B. Pritzker quoted that on Twitter and said Greg Abbott is a coward. So I think what you're looking at there is maybe two guys thinking about
presidential runs in 2028.
Yeah, that's a true story. So we would call them wheels and meals. That's what we would call them. Greg Abbott would be wheels. J.B. Pritzker would be meals. And if he were to drive somewhere, he'd be Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. Tell you what.
Scott Tomko checking in. Arena Scherer, good morning. Mark Kurtz, Daniel Wade White, Stephanie Conti, Will Vincent, David Glass, Scott Snow, Matt Boucher, Jordan Glass, Linda Crystal Map. Good to see you this morning. John Anderson, BJ Nelson. Good morning, Marina.
The mayor,
Junior
governor of New York, Republicans are rewriting the rules to give themselves an advantage. The gloves are off. Bring it on. That's Kathy Hochul. You'll remember the last time you saw Kathy Hochul, she got word raped by, what was the lady's name? Elise Congresswoman.
Stefanik.
Elise Stefanik just disemboweled her in a congressional hearing for all to see. Kathy Hochul, a true American idiot.
Buddy Stefano, Tammy Keeling, Junior Samples, Tammy Williams, good morning. Lisa Poole, Mark Kurtz, Heather Stewart, Micah Patton, Monty Howard, Greg Garcia, Andrew Alvarez, Uncle Norm checking in.
Hi,
Good to see
Norm.
you.
Norm, what's the weather in Frisco? It was like 68 this morning here when I walked out.
Matt Boucher, Andy Rokovich. Andy says the Supreme Court's ruled any decision based on race is unconstitutional. Every state should redraw lines before they get sued. David Ballard, good to see you, sir.
Hey, Dave. Big brother right there.
Bill Booker, Ricky King, James Kurth.
That'd be Ricky Champagne King.
Yeah. Michelle Hawkins, good morning. It's very interesting that all of these states, and it's interesting that the three states that are probably the worst run states in the country with the highest taxes, the most corruption, turning into little S-hole countries within our country because they're willing to harbor illegal aliens from all these S-hole countries.
Right.
California, Illinois, and New York weighing in on Texas. Why? Because the residents of those states have fled those states for Texas and Florida and Tennessee and North Carolina and a few others along the way. Illinois may be the only one, and I don't know how, because they probably screwed this count up too, but I don't see how Illinois has had net positive migration in the last few years. But New York has lost millions of residents, as has California.
Everybody is leaving those states. Now, California still has the highest GDP in the land, which just goes to show that even with a total lack of leadership, it still has tremendous resources. If somebody worth a dang was running California, I mean, it's the downward legacy of Nancy Pelosi is what it is.
Imagine the hardwood that could be harvested if you got into that redwood forest and were allowed to log it.
You don't have to go there.
I'm kidding.
I have a home built from one tree in the Muir Woods. I just wanted one tree. That's all I wanted.
Just one? Well, had to do it. Had to go there. Had to tick off the
tree huggers.
Yeah, might as well.
Speaking of that, why don't you put down the toughest nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade on that concrete, and then we can save a concrete tree. Do it. USA Concrete Coatings will come in. They will clean it all up, seal the cracks. They'll help you in so many ways. Get by 578-HOME and let Charlie Garcia come and help you.
Veracruz today, get in. The day before Caldo Wednesday, enjoy everything on the menu. Just the best Mexican food in town, in our opinion.
No doubt.
And yours too, because
it is. Everybody agrees.
Yeah, everybody we know eats there often. A lot of you do. We appreciate that. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Give Allen a call. Saw trucks on the road yesterday from Allen's. They were busy the last weekend and even through Monday yesterday. So, we don't. It's great they're there. We don't want to see that because that means there's misfortune in your life. But when you have a vehicular mishap, Allen's is there to get your vehicle back where it needs to go, to either your house if it's something you can fix yourself, to that's an offer for body work if you've been in a wreck, because that's an offer services all makes and models. But Allen's is our go-to. Toto, they should be yours as well.
Well, they're the best of the best in the business. White trash services, white trash site services. You got an unsightly structure on a piece of property you own, you call white trash site services. They will come out, destroy it, demolish it, pack it up, haul it off. You'll be thrilled. You'll be happy that it's gone. Paravita Wellness. Paravita inviting you to come in, bring your macros, bring your doctor's requirements. Let them help you custom design a meal plan to suit your needs. They can do it. They do it every day.
Chopping block this week, $12 fillets.
Yeah, that's a great deal. It's a wonderful, it's a
so tender, so mouth-watering.
perfect.
They're so good. Get in there, get them today. They're on sale all week this week. But they're trying to find you the best meat that they can. Those are good-looking fillets. I know you guys can't see them, but we're looking at them right now. And I feel for John right now because beef prices are on the rise. And so finding great deals on meat so he can pass those savings along to you.
You can feel for John, but you're not feeling John.
No.
Because that would be fondling.
That would be.
We don't allow that.
No. Smoked half chickens.
There you have it.
$6 each. And they've got they've got the pressed ham. I can't say that with a straight face.
I can't say pressed ham either.
But they have the pressed ham that you used to find at Dick's in their deli. They've got it at the chopping block as well. I just picture somebody's bare butt against
Careful.
the glass. That was
Careful.
that was a pressed ham back in the day.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, let's see what else is going on. There's lots here. Kathleen Leininger says there's a big difference between gerrymandering and redistricting to allow Texas citizens the ability to elect the 5 additional representatives the census numbers allow them.
Well,
yeah, absolutely, they do. The Democrats want Texans to be underrepresented. There's Katina Arterberry checking in.
I did hear an expert yesterday opine that if you were to take a census of only Americans and draw districts with no regard for race, if you did it by, like, let's just say that in Texas, you created districts that were going to, I don't even know how many districts there are. Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know how many there are. I'm pleading ignorance. But let's just say there's 50. And you say we're going to take 6 million people in each of the 50 districts because we have roughly 30 million people. So we're going to find a way to do that. Basically said that no Democrat would ever win an election again. And that's why it's not going to happen, because the Democratic socialists are going to continue to run from the fight because they don't want to face, they'd never win a swing state again if you did it legally.
No.
Will Franklin says the Apportionment Act of 1842 and the gerrymandering it permitted contributed to the war of northern aggression. It's an interesting time we're living in. That would be the Civil War. Yeah.
Monty Howard says political leaders don't run everything, even though many try. They are responsible for running the government. The rest of us should be responsible for running ourselves.
Amen.
But government has
Not
crept
funky.
into way too many parts of our lives these days.
But what gets me is certainly in my lifetime, absolutely in my lifetime, a huge dominating percentage of men and women, but men would be like, less government is better government. Now, they might agree that, for example, in matters of civil rights or in matters of what we would call the compassionate arts, that the government needs to have a pro-compassion stance. And in my opinion, the government should just be neutral, right? People should be compassionate, not elected officials. That's the way I feel. Elected officials should balance a budget, defend our shores, help with infrastructure, minimize taxes, and leave us the hell alone. That's what government should do. All this other stuff, oh, well, we got to do something for the homeless. Oh, we've got to do something for all the drug addicts. Round them up. Let them sort it out. At some point,
We used to do that stuff for them.
There would be
Then
an alpha
then the
homeless.
bleeding hearts didn't want them to be institutionalized anymore against their will. The problem is they don't know their will.
No, they don't. Crazy people are still here.
And then you have crazy killing innocent people on the streets of San Francisco and other places where they can defecate everywhere and just live their meager existences.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're just happy.
No doubt.
Story I heard this morning, guy in San Francisco stood between a woman and her children because some crazy nut job was berating her. And next thing you know, he pulls out a knife, stabs the guy in the neck, and he's dead.
Kills him. Young man, former hockey player. That's why Ash really clung to that. The guy was a hockey player. He didn't get aggressive with the homeless lunatic. Those two things often go together. You're a lunatic. You end up homeless. So asylum, place of rest, a peaceful place. Asylum now has a negative connotation. So these crazy people, they have to be allowed to assimilate. You could pull out a knife and stab somebody in the neck. Apparently the man was 6'4", well over 200 pounds. In a flurry of irresponsibility and viciousness, evil, confusion, lunaticness, took out a knife, stabbed the guy in the neck, killed him. Senseless.
But too many of our leaders want these crazy folks running around in our streets because their rights are more important than their infringement upon your rights and
So here's
your
the problem.
pursuit of happiness.
Tell me I'm wrong. Here's the problem. Here's a problem, a key factor. If Donald Trump is the champion of getting these lunatics off of our streets, that's what Hitler did. Hitler rounded up anybody that was different, gays and homeless people and gypsies and anybody that didn't have a high IQ because he was trying to build a master race. That's what Trump's doing. When does common sense take over?
Unfortunately, it left us 30 years ago.
We were in Austin yesterday. There's just way too many people. Way too many people standing around with signs. Anything helps. Anything helps. Get a job. Get off my streets. Or just go pass away quietly somewhere.
Advice? Will you take unsolicited advice? That'll help you.
Yeah. Put down the needle. Put down the pipe. If you can't.
But it's become more important to facilitate these people and their habits and their poor life choices.
That's what the Dems do. Can you still vote? Here's a free safe house for your needle injection.
This is what we've done as a society. We've allowed it because we've voted these morons into office on these platforms. They run on these platforms. The liberals in Canada have run on these things. Well, we're going to provide safe houses for all the addicts. We're going to give them free, clean needles so that they don't have health issues.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm sorry. If you're a homeless drug addict, I don't care if you get hepatitis. I really don't. You need to go clean up our streets, clean up our cities. There are beautiful, and by the way, the idea of like these Mondamis and this light bulb headed dude, and where's he at? Minneapolis. These are these Somalis taking over as like leadership of our country. Don't think that Minneapolis isn't going to become little Mogadishu, because it is. And then you're going to look back and go, what happened? Look at Chicago. I used to love to go to Chicago. I ain't going. I've got choices where I go. I'm not going. It's a dump.
I mean, nobody wants to go to a White Sox game because the White Sox suck, but also nobody wants to go to a White Sox game because it's on the south side. Nobody wants to go to the south side of Chicago anymore.
So on a positive side, Astros update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise. Big enough to get your job done, small enough to know you by name.
They care.
Let me just give you a little Astros update. Spencer Arrighetti expected to join the big club. He should be there today. He threw 4.2 innings on Thursday last week. Did fine. Sean Dubin, remember him? Threw an inning in Sugar Land. He'll still be there.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was good. JP France, still in Sugar Land. Luis Garcia, still in Sugar Land. Christian Javier, still in Sugar Land. They ought to be winning every game in Sugar Land.
Yeah, they should.
70% of those guys is better than 100% of AAA pitching. Lance McCullers Jr., my conspiracy theory is they are hiding Lance McCullers.
You think he's got something worse than
no,
blister
they're
on
just
his
hiding
finger?
because he sucks. jogging and throwing. I can tell you that we have way too many Ferraris and not enough Chevrolets on our baseball teams. That's a fact. These guys are all, oh, I felt a little twinge in my hamstring. Okay, well, why don't you stretch a little bit, put some icy hot on it, and I'll see you in the morning. I mean, you need a team of lunch pail baseball players instead of these. I mean, I'm not bought in that these guys aren't playing and aren't durable. And by the way, if the Astros have a health problem, then we need to look at their protocol in practice and what they're doing.
I don't know of another team that's had 3 guys that
I
had Tommy John surgery.
I don't either.
4 if you go back to McCullers.
100%.
Apologize for the
McCullers is
slight
done.
technical difficulties, but we've got them worked out.
Yeah, it happens.
Every once in a while.
Frozen in YouTube and Facebook. Should be back
I
up
think
now.
we're back. It looked like we're back.
Hey, if we're not, switch over to Magic 95.9. There'll always be a place for radio.
Dude,
Sheriff
Johnson's
Lauterbach,
checking in.
good morning.
Tom Price, good morning, Sheriff. Of the Honorable State Representative.
Absolutely. We could take a call if you want to. We've already talked bad about the Democrats, but if you'd like to talk bad about the Democrats, feel free to give us a call.
Astros did win 8-2 over Florida yesterday. Correa with an RBI. 33 RBIs. That's why they were willing to get rid of Carlos Correa. He doesn't even have an RBI per $1 million they're paying him.
Well, like you and I talked about the other night,
season.
You can go to the plate when you're a franchise type superstar, which is, I promise you, how Carlos Correa sees himself when he looks in the mirror. You can go to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs and hit a grand slam home run and justify your $36 million a year. You can go to the plate and foul a full count fastball right down Main Street. You can foul that ball off and maintain your status as a superstar. You can even swing at that pitch mightily and miss and have me still have some respect for you. But when you're a $30+ million a year player and you're down by 1 run and the bases are juiced and there's 2 outs and you take a called third strike when the umpire goes, "Huh,"
fastball,
you're not worth
down
nothing.
Broadway.
That dude better get his bat off his shoulder and his head out of his butt, and they better start playing some good baseball. Or it's time for Dana Brown to start making some cuts.
Yep.
I understand why Minnesota said, take him, and here's $33 million.
I was just going to say, Jonathan Williams beat me to the punchline. Jason Alexander, 6 strong innings yesterday, 6 strikeouts, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk.
Costanza slightly taller yesterday. By the way, he pitched well, and I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm talking about, the chutzpah. Jason Alexander had the bases loaded, and we were up 6-1, I think, 6-0, and had the bases loaded and 2 outs. And to his credit, Joe Espada said, all right, we're going to see if you're a man or not. He pitched himself out of a 2-out jam and got out of the 6th inning. He gets the win yesterday.
He does.
And deserved the win. The next dude comes in, King comes in and gives up back-to-back pinch hit home runs, followed by a ground rule double.
Good thing we had a 6-0 lead at that point.
I might have pulled him a little quicker for Mr. Abreu.
You know what's interesting? Like, I'm just looking at the box scores. 97 pitches for Jason Alexander yesterday through 6 innings.
That's good.
Here's the problem, though. This is why pitchers don't last into games. They are wasting too many pitches.
Agree.
They don't go after hitters.
That's only 16 pitches an inning.
But they pull them at 100 pitches now.
Yeah. Well, they're all soft because you want to get a blister. Next thing you know, they're at an undisclosed site pitching to junior high kids.
You pay all these guys money to play defense behind you, and they don't want these guys to play defense behind them anymore.
Man, oh man. I mean, the guy that still gets it is Fromber. Fromber's got no problem letting you make contact. Contact is not your enemy. Driven, launch-angled contact is your enemy. Everybody's out there trying to hit the long ball.
Yeah.
So
look at that. Look at batting
ball.
averages. I mean, I'm going to give you the Astros batting averages, and you tell me when's the last time you saw these types of batting averages.
Are they low?
Jeremy Pena at 324 leading off the team last night. That's the highest batting average in the lineup yesterday. There isn't
a batting average anywhere.
Yeah, but there isn't another batting average on the team in yesterday's game for the season above 280. Sanchez in left field, 267. McCormick comes in, pinch hits,
Sanchez
batting
misplaced
227.
2 balls yesterday too. By the way, I've heard great things about the young man, but the announcer. By the way, the best broadcast team in baseball, I think, is Robert Ford and Steve Sparks, and Sparks just goes, Sanchez misplays another,
And he
ball.
didn't get charged with an error because
he's new. I see, he's just finding his way.
Altuve's hitting 279. Carlos Correa's hitting 235. Christian Walker's hitting 236, but he has 50 plus RBI, so we'll cut him a little slack.
Altuve's a star. I don't care what he hits.
Caratini's batting 268.
Good player.
Yiner's batting 255.
Good player.
Tramel's batting 233.
Young guy coming along.
Dubon's hitting 265.
And
Cam Smith's
player.
Down to 255. He's cooled off a little bit.
He's going like 4 for his last 30. Cam Smith, but playing good right field. The Astros' problem is on a scale of 1 to 10. The Astros are predominantly 7s and 8s. They've got a bunch of 7s and 8s. They don't have the Aaron Judge or the Cal Raleigh or the healthy Mike Trout. They don't have that guy.
We don't have. We do. He's on the shelf.
They got a bunch of guys.
What does he have? A hand issue? Jordan, what's his issue?
Swollen right hand. Your predominant Astro, if you had to like rat hole him, he's hitting about 258. He's got 10 home runs and 40 RBIs. That's the average Astro. Now, that's top to bottom in the lineup. On any given night, if 4 of those people get a hit, which they're all due a hit 1 out of 4, they're all hitting 250. If those guys can get a hit, you win games. The pitching has been adequate. We should be getting some relief. Spencer Arrighetti should come back and should be good. He definitely made a career level leap from 2 years ago to last year. Last year, he became a dominant pitcher in the second half. I look for Arrighetti to help. Hunter Brown is in a little bit of a funk, but people forget he's only like in his 3rd season as a starter. I think, I think the Astros, I do think they're fine. They've only now won 3 of their last 10, and they're still up 2.5 games. I mean, did you expect us to be leading the division? By the way, we've led our division longer than any other team has led any division this year. Play your girlfriend, Jasmine Crockett, there, who had the audacity in public to call Donald Trump a piece of Shiite. I don't like it. I don't respect it. I don't like the foul mouths that are becoming so common among our Congress people. Eric Swalwell drops F-bombs in his manufactured social media posts. I just think there ought to be some level of class and decorum. And I realize I get it. We're not hiring these people to be our pastors. They're not worship worthy. I can easily play the other side of the coin. I'm just saying that when you've got an elected official going on,
is this it here?
The public media and saying that the president of the United States is a piece of gras doux and is that crass. Yeah.
For you Canadians, she's married.
Can you stop that?
Nope.
Back it up, play that.
Working on it.
We were working on stuff right to the point we got fired. That's clearly not the right connection.
Settings might have been run afoul.
Well, let me just do it this way because
no, I got it. Our settings were run afoul because of the glitch that we had. So we'll get it going.
If you want to play it on Bluetooth, I have it ready to go. We don't have to do a whole lot of adjusting. Are you ready? I am connected. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm connected now. So I said.
And I have to tell you this because I'm so inspired not only by all of you that decided to show up today, but right before I got over here, my former colleagues from the Texas House, those Texas Democrats, decided to get the hell out of Texas. They decided to use whatever tools they could, and breaking quorum is where they are at right now.
Y'all.
And they didn't just do it by themselves. They went to Illinois, where there's a governor that gives a damn.
Apparently cares more about Texas than he does Illinois.
It's going to take all of us. That is why I say we are one. But
what are your concerns?
This is going to take all of us. Her and her fake ghetto ebonics garbage. You should have heard her when she first got elected to the Texas House. And I'm not saying that she's now, that I'm like against her because now she's empowered. She was somewhat mesmerizing. She was articulate. She was intelligent. She's an attorney.
She's pandering to those that vote for her.
But here's the problem. And what nobody seems to get, that I'm willing to say, there simply aren't enough blacks in America to get you elected. There's just not. At some point, Whitey, because I'm telling you, you want to know somebody that's light years ahead of us? Light years ahead of us. When it comes to reviewing character, our Latino friends, our Hispanic community sees right through her garbage. You can't look a Hispanic person who works 2 jobs, gets their kids to school, does the things they do. You can't look them in the face and go, you needs the government. The government is your friend. Because it don't work for them. They know better. They've been lied to. The Hispanic community is awake. They're not woke. They are awake. And they're too smart for that ghetto garbage. It don't work for them. And what's bad about it is this lady is just as bad as Beto O'Rourke pretending to be a Latino. And they saw through that too. You can't lie to a Mexican heritage American. You can't. They're not stupid. But she's counting on, banking on, that there's enough ghetto, ebonics, idiot fool Democrats that will vote for her. She has huge aspirations for higher office.
Well,
and Kamala Harris tried to invoke some of the same garbage. Wherever she was, situational ebonics. That's what they use. It don't work. Because at some point, you got to convince a white dude like me to vote, or you just don't have enough numbers to win. And I'm not voting for that ghetto broad from Missouri, who now represents Dallas, which is the most high tone of the major cities in the state. Between Dallas,
but here's the thing. It's not exclusive to Jasmine Crockett and the Democrats, even though the examples might be a little bit more obvious, because you can listen to Kamala Harris speak to a crowd of Harvard educators, and she's speaking the Queen's English. And then she goes to Atlanta. But Kathleen Leininger says it right. But it's not just Crockett. It's I won't say all. It's most. Most of our elected officials and those running for office pander to the illiterate, uneducated, and just plain stupid voter.
That's true.
But and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The uneducated voter is the biggest threat to this country than anybody else.
That's right.
Because all you have to do is get them stirred up emotionally by how they feel, and they will go vote. They don't understand the ramifications of their vote.
Amen. There's Monica Judge with a great comment. I would like to hear Alan West take on Jasmine Crockett. He would destroy her and call her out on her BS. Monty Howard says they are counting on the mindless Caucasians to be so clueless consumers of their shtick.
Gilbert Glenn checking in from Knoxville, Tennessee. Good
Mr.
morning,
Glenn,
sir.
Thank you so much
checking
for
in.
checking in. Knoxville, Tennessee
We're
is
huge in Knoxville this
a
morning.
great part of the world. Go Vols. That's coming from a Texas grad. The other UT. Thank you for Davy Crockett. Thank you.
I think Tennessee actually owns the domain of ut.edu.
Well, of course they do. They were smarter than us. We just assumed everybody knew who the real UT is. No, as a kid growing up, that's how old he is now. I used to love to watch the Bill Dance fishing show. And he had a Tennessee orange T on his cap.
Oh.
It was kind of his trademark.
I had no idea.
Back before T. Martin, back before Peyton Manning. In the Johnny Majors years, just trying to boast Mr. Glenn that I know a little of their history. 6 championships, 5 are real. They've played a lot of football. There you have it. What do you find?
I'm trying to find.
Breitbart?
I don't know where it is, but we'll find it.
We'll just make it up. We don't even use sources here.
They're just here for a better life, folks.
Oh,
Florida, huge pedophilia sting operation. 48 people arrested in all. 6 of them criminal illegal aliens. 1 other an a student visa alien. Well, and here's the thing. Well, but they arrested mostly Americans or citizens.
well, I'm glad they did.
1 in 7.
Was an illegal alien.
They're coming here not for a
Wait.
better life.
Stop. See, folks, right here, I've got to do it. I'm sorry, I have to do it. 6 were illegal aliens, 48 total. That's 1 in 8.
No, there was a 7th. There was a student there was 1 of them on a student visa in alien. So 1 in 7 are from other countries coming here.
Oh, you weren't talking about 6 illegal aliens.
The
It's
total
that Canadian
number.
math, carry 0.
The total number. 7
like
of the 48.
Jethro Bodine.
7 of the 48 from other countries. They're not here for a better life.
No, they're here for children.
And then somebody the other day, well, they commit crimes at a lesser degree than Americans do. No, they've all committed a crime when they came here. Illegally entered the country. That's one more crime than I've ever committed.
Allegedly. So what they did is allegedly. So what they did is
I don't
they
even
set
have
up
a
a
speeding
sting
ticket in this
operation,
country.
and they offered you the chance, like, hey, you want to come? Yeah, I've got a young girl for you between the age of 13 and 15. It was well defined. And of the 48 people who showed up, there were 6 illegal aliens and a student here on a student visa. So the idea would be that, yes, you've also got 42 really cruddy Americans who are pedophiles, but they picked up 7 illegal aliens, or 6 illegal aliens, and 1 who's here who was willing to commit sex with a child.
Which means he lied in his visa.
Right.
When he went for his visa or his student visa interview.
Right. The 6 criminal aliens identified after their arrest include suspects from Jamaica, El Salvador, Dubai, India. See, we're not saying that these are Cubans or Mexicans or people that, you would expect to find in Florida. This guy's from Dubai. Okay.
This guy's from India. He came here to scam people instead of staying there. Now you're going
to Alligator Alcatraz. Good stuff.
I wouldn't even. You know what? I wouldn't even get him to Alligator Alcatraz.
The bus might
I would drop him in the alligator swamp. They're preying on our kids. 13 to 15-year-old girls is who these. Wait for it, because the left will just try to defend them as minor attracted persons.
Absolutely. Andrew Alvarez says he was a Jimmy Houston fan. I actually know Mr. Houston. We could talk about that another time. He's a great gentleman, a great guy. Junior Simple says, I'll buy a wood chipper for those perverts if it was a legal option. Yeah, it was certainly a legal operation. They grabbed 42 terrible Americans. I don't know where I stand with some of these things. I don't like the idea. It just is this CNN 5 things. It says still a record share of kindergartners missed required vaccinations last year. I don't like that vetted, proven vaccines are going unapplied because people turned against vaccines, rightfully so, over the COVID debacle. But I think there are folks now, Ash, who are concerned that, well, there's mercury in these vaccines or there's microplastics in these vaccines. And maybe all these vaccines have led to the increase in autism, for example, those types of things. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that if you asked me if I wanted my grandbaby vaccinated for measles, the answer is yes. Yes, I do. Polio, yes. I want her vaccinated.
Absolutely.
For polio. Andrew Alvarez says, let's turn Epstein's Island into a prison, move some alligators and crocodiles there for the boat to have some sharks around the island. Yeah. It's all good. I don't disagree.
I don't disagree at all. Well, what was the latest one I saw over the weekend? Thimerosal. I don't know how you pronounce that preservative, but it's apparently used in vaccines, right?
Okay.
It's perfectly safe to be in vaccines. Wait a second. They took it out of every single eye. If you have contacts, it used to be in all the contact solutions.
Right. They didn't want it to absorb into your eyeball.
They don't let it be in any of the contact solutions anymore. So if it's not good enough for my eye, I'm not sure it's good enough for my vaccine.
Thigh. So I get it for your thigh. Real quick, let's talk about Went Services, Went Electrical. If you have a generator issue, and you do if you don't have a hardwired Generac generator, reach out to Went or Kohler or Cummins or Briggs & Stratton. Reach out to Went Services.
About another 8 brands that they carry.
They've got them all. Reach out to Went today for turnkey generator service. Chestnut and Love.
They make your house a home.
Get by and see why you just always do better at Chestnut. We finish each other's sentences, don't we, dear?
We do.
Oh, Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Today's a great day. It's going to be hot, hot, hot. Peruse the new vehicles on the lot via the internet. Atzenhofer's embraced the fact that the internet's here to stay. They were the first to do it. First car dealer anywhere. Right here in the biggest state in the country, in the oldest country in the world with the most landmass, the
oldest city in
America.
Texas.
The oldest city in Texas with the newest deli anywhere.
And the best
facilities. Reach out to Atzenhofer today. Tommy Taylor, dealer principal.
Yep. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. We got to pick a date, but we'll pick it soon.
I'm just not in a hurry.
No.
Seems like just yesterday.
It was almost
just
yesterday.
We had to endure Junior.
He wasn't there.
I know, but still the legacy, the ghost of Junior. He was there.
First.
Seemed like forever. Seemed like forever.
He didn't stay.
Palace Bingo. Folks, it's just fun. You know what? In fact, I got a text.
You did?
Let me see if I can find it. I wouldn't lie to you.
Scott Tompkins says he's going to be tearing up some trout and redfish the next 2 days, so we're going to have to proceed without him. You know, you can take the show on the road with you, Scott. You can listen to us on Facebook. Just put your earbuds in.
Look at that. Good morning, sir. This is Baltimore from L&L Grill here at the Palace Bingo Hall. Wanting to get a spot on your morning radio show. Get with me when you have time. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
How about that?
There you go. Torrin Bales asked if we saw the CNN explanation on why what a great job Trump is doing. We did not see that. We'll have to look for that one.
CNN, obviously trying to improve their ratings.
That's exactly
either that or he doesn't want to get their funding cut.
Yeah.
Did you know, did any of you, did it slip by you as NPR was whining that there would be no more, pick one, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers?
Actually, Sesame Street had already gone over to Netflix, so it didn't matter.
Did you know that did the media not portray the defunding of NPR as the shuttering of the station.
Yep.
That's the end of it. It's the end of public broadcasting. It's the end of it all. Is that how they did it or not?
Yeah.
10%. It's 10% of NPR's budget. NPR took a 10% hit from their defunding. And yet their CEO was on every social media just going, for pennies a day, you can sponsor public radio. It's where everybody goes for their storm alerts. What a joke. What a joke.
Monty Howard says vaccines. I worry about how they may have recently corrupted the old handful of basic vaccines I had as a kid. There's the other thing.
Yeah.
Look at the vaccine record that you had as a kid, and there might have been 6. Now there's a gazillion, and I'm probably a little shy of a couple there.
Well, you know, the one thing that you and I talked about the day that Trump's right in the middle of this. I'm not blaming the left on this. You haven't heard us blame the left on this. When they said, oh, by the way, we're giving complete immunity to all the pharmaceutical companies, and the left was going nuts, right? Remember, Barack Obama was I'm against big pharma. He hated big pharma. Now the left is all about big pharma, 100% about big pharma. Joe Biden embraced the pharmaceutical companies immensely.
Monty says he's come to a place where he doesn't trust the pharmaceutical industry anymore, or even
I don't
pharmacists.
I don't either.
John Anderson got to see his 4th granddaughter yesterday.
Hey,
Good
man,
to hear
John.
that.
There you go. Yep. NPR, Kathleen Leininger says, you want big or little violins. With that, folks, we leave you. Hope you have a great day. Hey, it's Tuesday. It's not too late to win this week.
No,
Get after them.
We'll be back here for Caldo Wednesday.
Give them hell, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.
Well, I've been kicked out of my near